So I'm 43 in this video. I'm 43. So I have throughout my life had a tumultuous journey with food and with my body and with illness. I have gone through a lot of unknowns. I've had shingles 40 times. I have Hashimoto's. And my thyroid stopped working because of mold toxicity. I have EBV and brain fog, and I've had mystery rashes. Like, I could just go on and on here, but let's just sum this all up by saying I've gone through the ringer with this relationship with my body, and food has become an issue. And it always kind of, what is an issue for me in terms of my body image? But when I got into my late 30s, food and I really didn't get along. I started having massive allergic reactions to basically anything. My friends used to joke to me and say, go eat some ice cubes, because that was basically the only thing I wasn't allergic to. And I would blow up. Like, I would be sitting in public, and if I ate something, my face would turn purple and my body would literally expand while in public, and like my pants would basically start constricting within me. And it was a horrible experience. And so I've always eaten clean. I was vegan for a very long time. Let's just say I was plant-based. I was plant-based for a very long time. I have been, versions of every single low carb situation that exists in the world. I've done it all. And so it just, my body still wasn't, it was still messed up. And I was going through all of these things. And when the Hashimoto's thing happened, I really started getting super, super serious. And I started seeing the functional medicine doctor in New York, and also an endocrinologist in New York. And I read the book Ketotarian by Dr. Will Cole. And when I read the book Ketotarian by Dr. Will Cole, it all really clicked for me. And it really gave me that driving need that I really needed to see and to hear and to see on paper. And I just got really serious about it, because I was trying to do it, but I felt so restricted because I felt like food was failing me. And so when I read that book in particular, I finally felt like I had a strategy. And so I did exactly what he said. I followed his protocol to a T. I did not drink. I did not do any of it. It was serious time to see what I could really do. And that book really set the standard for me and how I was going to live my life moving forward. When I went through the first, 60 days of I don't remember exactly what it's called, but the restrictive time period where you are detoxing pretty intensely. And I felt terrible, but by the time I got to the end of that, the elimination portion of it. When I got to the end of elimination, I felt so good. It felt like I was released, my body was letting go of the stuff that I was holding on to. And I also put myself through a mold detox and I eliminated the mold from my gut. So at the same time, I was doing these two things. And by the time that was over, I felt amazing. And it was just listening to and seeing the recipes of everything and how to do it. I will never go back to eating any other way. I think a lot of what was going on with my system in particular was with oils and gums. I had mold toxicity, but I was consuming gluten-free food that had xanthan gum and guar gum, and both of those are derivatives of mold. And so I was allergic to mold, I was detoxing mold, but I was also putting mold in my body. And that was just something I wasn't taught. I didn't know about that stuff. And so it really cleaned everything out, like oils, canola oil, sunflower, safflower oil, all of that stuff gone. And so when I got really, really focused on that, I saw a massive difference in how I felt. And so I really just have decided that I'm living an anti-inflammatory lifestyle, and there's nothing worth changing how I feel anymore. It has made such a difference in how I feel in my brain, how my head functions, how like my body feels. And like I'm committed to that no matter what. And I travel, I have specific snacks that I pack. I have, the ways that I bring food onto airplanes so I don't have to be exposed to eating any of that food. Like it has just made such a massive difference in my body that like I'll never go back. And that is why I live an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. And being in my 40s and feeling the effects of what I feel now, I feel better than I felt in my 20s. My body looks better than it did in my 20s. My skin looks better than it did in my 20s. And it has everything to do with what I'm putting into my body and also how I'm treating my body. And so I really stand for an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. Also, hormone regulation for women is really important, especially when you get, into late 30s or even earlier for women who've had children or women who've been through trauma. If you've had a massive thing like a childbirth or a trauma that triggers your response system to a point where you are in fight or flight in a massive way, you're going to be releasing more estrogen than most people will. And so that's why women get melasma. They used to call it the pregnancy mask. It's an estrogen dominance. So, I don't have children, but like I had intense melasma. And you can see it in one of the photos on the website where I have makeup on and we used a filter and you can still see my melasma. So anti-inflammatory lifestyle has made such a massive difference in my body, how I look, how I feel internally, and then in hormone regulation, and managing my thyroid. Like my thyroid is actually working, which is unbelievable, but I had to clean it all up. I had to get serious and I went in and I did it and I'll never go back. So that is really why I started to and I'm committed to an anti-inflammatory lifestyle.